Welcome back, YouTube. It's Old Chevy 4x4. Coming to you on a rainy April the 24th. It's a Tuesday afternoon. Hope y'all are doing well. I want to give you all a shop update, let you know what's been going on around here. Is, typical for this time of year. Let you know I'm still alive, because even though I really promised myself that I was going to try to push to make more videos this year, I'm falling short of that goal, as y'all can tell. Work, is what it is. Gets busy. Working commercial refrigeration, as probably some of you already know, and as soon as the weather turns nice, we start working. So, it is what it is. So, without further ado, let's get talking about what's going on around the shop, shall we? Watching the birds out there. I got the camera pointed this way because I got a bird nest right here too that they've been coming and going out of. And I got a Briggs Model 14 sitting here on the workbench that y'all have not seen yet. It is off of a Simplicity Model V two-wheel tractor that just a little while ago, over a month ago, the missus and I took a little road trip to go pick up. Crossing y'all Howard. Let's go. We never done that before. Are we in Indiana?
No idea where we are, sweetie.
Yes, we are.
Okay, so just on 60.
Right there's the haul, guys. We got a Simplicity tractor. We got 3 implements. You can kind of see one hiding right there. If you look careful and you know what you're looking for, something in that group is kind of rare. So the engine's in here. My goal tonight is to get the carburetor pulled apart and dropped into the dip and let it soak. And hopefully tomorrow night I can get back after it. Other stuff around the shop. Let me wander off here. My rocket stove that y'all haven't seen either, unless you watch my Facebook page. You have no idea about this little rocket stove that I put together. Put this rocket stove together a little while back, and I did a first burn on it probably, I don't know, it's been several weeks ago, it seems like. Again, they're all running together, but did a test burn in it, and I found out off the bat that I did something wrong. And I'm not going to expect the camera to show up in here, but I'll kind of tell you. Instead of this being a straight open hole all the way down here to the burn chamber, I've got steel left coming down, partitioning off part of that. My thought process when I made this, set it down because it's kind of heavy. My thought process when I made that was, bear with me, carburetor gasket, don't want to lose that. Gotta make a new one. Thought process, I've got like ADHD, ever notice that? When I made that thing was leaving that steel coming down a little bit would help direct the heat up and wouldn't let the heat come back up the feed tube. Seemed logical enough up until I actually started burning it and found out that I can't fit sticks in it that are much bigger than that big around unless they're like perfectly straight. Really defeats the whole purpose. I don't want to have to go gleaning all the down branches for perfectly straight pieces to fit in there. So I'm going to take that and cut it out. Tried to cut it out with my cutting tool, and that was, to no avail. I was going to use my torches. I'm out of oxygen. So that brings me to the next portion of this this little video. Step over here, y'all never mind the mess. So the debacle I've got going on, guys, I've got Thoroughbred tanks from Tractor Supply, and I've had them since we moved down here from New York. Reason being was when we lived up there, I had Abbott welding tanks, and I believe Abbott is based out of like Olean, although you can get them exchanged in Yorkshire and Arcade and whatnot. But moving 1,000 miles south, I figured my Abbott welding tanks would be no good. Being that Tractor Supplies are nationwide, or just about, and at that time, they all exchanged their own tanks. I thought it'd be a good idea. Here we are about 12 years later, and guess what? Tractor Supply still sells them, but doesn't exchange them. So yeah, explain that to me if you can. They still sell the tanks. You can go to any Tractor Supply and order them, and they're not cheap. They're a few $100 a pop, but you can't get full ones exchanged or filled back up there. Makes no sense. There's one store in I guess you would call it my area. The closest one that still does it is in Lawrenceburg, which is like, I don't know, 50 minutes from me, or about an hour's ride each way from me. So not exactly close and not convenient at all. Naturally, Airgas and Nexair and Jackson, Tennessee, and all those guys, they don't take Thoroughbred tanks. because they're not their tanks. So yeah, kind of leaves you in a pickle. So if you're thinking about buying oxy and acetylene tanks from Tractor Supply, I'd really reconsider that. It was a good idea and the best option at the time for me, but now looking back, I'm like, well, this is just real convenient. The good thing is that I'm rambling about this. Next weekend, the 29th, we are heading on to South Pittsburgh, Tennessee, to go to the National Cornbread Festival at the Lodge Manufacturing Facility. And on my way back through, I'm going to stop off in Lawrenceburg and swap out my tank. In theory. My luck, I'll get there and they'll be sold out. But in theory, I'm going to stop and swap out my tanks and head on back. Get my rocket stove fixed, and I got a few other piddly projects around here. To that extent, in my very limited free time, I've got a couple little things, but I picked up a post-mount vise. I'm going to break you loose of the tripod here if I can. Hopefully, nobody gets sick. Again, pardon the mess, but there's my new little vise. I've had this for a little while now. And blacksmith vise, post-mount vise, whatever you want to call it. Great shape. The jaws are in real nice shape. The whole thing is pretty solid and sturdy. Downside, I'm missing the spring. That should be like a half a leaf right here. So I'm keeping my eyes open for a small leaf spring, maybe off a trailer or something like that, so I can get that complete and back to working. Trying to just do some little horseshoe stuff. Y'all know me. I like my horseshoes. I like making stuff with the horseshoes. He's a work in progress. Got to clean him up. Got some trivets going again. Might get back into the trivet operation. I don't know. We'll see. But while I get the camera over here, I'm going to move everything out of the way, take apart that carburetor right quick, and alright, here we are taking a look at the carburetor from that Simplicity Model V. Like I said, I picked it up, it's been over a month now, up in Indiana. My dad found it on eBay, of all places, and he calls me, and it's a work night. He calls and he says, hey, I found a tractor for you. I said, okay, what do you got? He says, well, it's a Simplicity. He said, it's in Indiana. And I was like, no, we're not driving all day to go pick up an old two-wheel tractor. So, you know, I kind of shot him down on that, and he, okay, whatever, and talked a little bit more and hung up. And, you know, naturally, curiosity gets the best of you, so I jumped on eBay, and I searched for Simplicity two-wheel tractor, and lo and behold, they're in Indiana. Oh, see, I'm getting ahead of myself. Been too long since I've taken one of these apart. There in Indiana was this Simplicity Model V with a few attachments. It said, the listing said, Simplicity tractor with attachments, or something to that extent. And I got to looking at it, and I thought, man, there is something in those pictures that I really would like to have. Something I have been looking for a very long time. We've been in the Simplicity business for, Simplicity game for, I don't know, 15 years maybe. 14 years, somewhere around there. And there's a particular attachment that I have been wanting and just never could find. Never even seen one, guys. I've been to tractor shows from Canandaigua to New York to Michigan City, Mississippi, and I've never seen one of these attachments. The attachment, of course, is the buzz saw, or the cordwood saw. So like I said, Dad found it on eBay, and I was already set against it because I didn't want to go to Indiana to buy a tractor until I went to the listing and seen the saw in the background with the equipment that was being sold. And I've been wanting one of them for a long, long time. And I said, heck, pull the trigger on that. I bid what I felt was appropriate and got it for a very good price. I can't complain about that at all. There was one other bidder. The guy opened a bid of $70. I think he bid to 100, and I think my bid of 102.50 or something like that. Took it. Took the tractor, took the saw, took 30-inch sickle bar mower, and a cultivator sweep set. So you can't go wrong there. It probably cost me almost that just to drive there and back. Which I will add this right quick before we take off. I love my little Toyota Tacoma pickup truck. That is the best little truck. They are not suited for highway travel. I was so sore by the time I got out of that thing. My back was killing me. We were in it all day. But I'm going to let this video go. When I got home, I'll leave you with a few things here right quick. When I got home, the next day, Mom and Dad come over, talked and, looked around stuff, and pulled the tractor off the truck, and it shocked me. I should never underestimate an old Briggs, but it did shock me. And I'm going to leave you with that. Maybe another clip, too. As always, guys, I do appreciate each and every one of you while watching the videos, checking out the channel, leaving a comment and all that good stuff, especially the guys that check in on me, make sure I'm still here and kicking. I know I'm not following through with my whole New Year's resolution thing, and, it's probably New Year's resolutions. A lot of times they fail. But I am shooting some video. I got some more cooking vids. Love that grill I got. I got some stuff out here. Got a new little venture off to the side I'm working on. Basically got, you know, as usual, in my fashion, I've got about 15 irons and one small little fire, and I'm trying to play with all of them, and it just is what it is. So I will see y'all next time around. I can't even tell you what the next video is going to be. As always, I already said it. Thanks very much. We'll see you next time.
It's almost boring when you don't have to do anything cool and they just run. Takes all the fun out of it.